Hey guys, Mad Science here, and today I am here with day number 12 of RegularRevenge, where today, the three episodes I gotta record, I am actually re-recording because I forgot to plug the mic in again. How long have I been at this, and how often will I forget this from now on? But today I have 3 stories lined up, so let's just get into them. First up, steal my CC, my wife will go Liam Neeson on your ass. Revenge didn't think I was cool enough to play with them. This is literally wrapping up as I type this. Earlier today I got a text from one of my CC companies questioning a few charges. I was in meetings and coincidentally left my wallet at home today, so I shot my wife a text and asked her to take care of it. She called the CC company, but they wouldn't talk to her, which made no fucking sense because since it was in her card, but they got skimmed anyhow because it was my account. So she did a little sleuthing. A quick look online showed a pending hotel charge, which included a location number. So she called the corporate office and found it was in Chino, California, and got the local phone number. She called up the hotel and talked to the manager, explained that CC was being used there, but we could assure them that we were across the country, like a fucking boss. The hotel manager conferences up the local PD, who says, "On our way." She waits about 2 hours and then called the hotel back to inquire, and the comment was, "This was really bigger than you can imagine. The PD has several suspects in custody and will be calling you later for additional information." Fuck me? No. Fuck you. Update. 5 people in custody, felony charges. Goddamn. Jesus Christ, why would people think stealing a person's credit card information is a good thing? And then the CC company decided to try and not be helpful because it's a woman. It's a woman that they're talking to, not a man. Like, that's a bit racist, I'm pretty sure. It's either racist or sexist. I can't really tell the difference between the two. Not with all the cinema scenes I've watched. So I've seen stuff that be like, "That looks very sexist," and they say, "That's racist." I'm like, what? I digress, so let's move on to the next story. Do the math on 2 weeks' notice. So right around the turn of the millennium, I worked at a restaurant chain, and the restaurant had a bar on one side and the restaurant on the other. I started as server, and then I became bartender, though I am not a bartender by any stretch of imagination. I can pour beer and do rum and coke. My type of bartender, I love my rum and coke. I literally had rum and coke last night, and I'm sort of still feeling it. Anyways, I always traveled around. So this year I decided to go to Costa Rica for 4 months or so. Just backpacking. I don't like winter, and I come from the Great White North. Yeah. Also known as Canada, I'm pretty sure. As it were, I ended up living there for 8 months. So I talked to my GM, and he says I can quit if I want to come back. And if I want to come back, we'll deal with it at that time. It's fine with me. I gave my 2 weeks notice on December 16th. Do the math, because my shift supervisor didn't. We had a shift shift supervisor that did the schedule, who was a good friend with a server I didn't get along with. Servers were supposed to tip out the bartender, and she would say BS. She would BS and say her tips were bad and stiff me. So I put the service drinks at the end of the queue, and if she ever needed anything on the fly, it was no. It affected my schedule because my shift supervisor, who is also a bartender, put me on open. Open is lunch, and that's it. We had a 12 to 8, which was gravy because no open and close, just tips, and then there was closing. For about a month, I had shitty shifts. My shift supervisor was sitting at the bar making the schedule after I gave my notice, and she says to me, "You're always complaining about not closing. I have a close for you. December 31st. And I said, "What?" "Yeah, you can close New Year's Eve." I didn't say anything, but those astute readers that added 14 days to December 16th would come up with a number of 30. I planned December 30th as my last day, but here she was scheduling me for December 31st. I said nothing. December 30th swings around. I finished my opening shift, having a beer and staff meal, and she's closing bartender, and she's gloating about me closing on New Year's Eve. I told her I quit. Today is my last day. She didn't believe me. Then the GM walks out of the kitchen, and she asks him what is Alex's last day. He says today. Then she says he's scheduled for closing tomorrow. Now, my GM was a great guy, and he didn't play any games or favorites. He just wanted the job done. Awesome person to have as a boss. He told her to find someone, or she is the one closing. It's her mistake. Find someone to close bartending on New Year's Eve in a bar less than 24 hours away. Didn't happen. I heard from a coworker that she was closing, so even though it wasn't even in my New Year's Eve plans, my friends and I went in there to get pre-lubed before the real festivities began. I'll never forget the look on her face when she had to serve us. "I'm not closing on New Year's, bitch. You are." Oh, why did you not do basic mathematics? Like, 16 plus 14 is so easy. I should know that it's easy. Some equations that were way harder than that. But this person is just like, "Oh, I can schedule you for close on New Year's Eve." If she knew her calendar, that would not be an issue here. She could have found someone else to do it. But nope. She tried to get OP to be the one to do it. Okay, last story. Autistic flatmate too quiet and weird for you? Enjoy your borderline nightmare. This was going to post in an Ask Reddit thread, but on second thoughts, it's really a story that belongs here. I agreed to move in with 3 girls who I thought were my friends one year when I was at university. I have ASD plus ADHD PI, which was undiagnosed at the time, so I didn't really do much except study and go to a couple of student societies. Why can I not read? Once I'd done a large share of the legwork to secure them a nice flat, this 3 came out with a cock and bull story to justify kicking me out before we even moved in. They decided they didn't want me living with them because I was too quiet, too weird, and invented a cock and bull story to justify kicking me out. Finding out the real reason they needed my room was hurtful as fuck, but I secured a room shortly after in a really nice flat that was near the university. I was sharing with a friend who had been unable to continue being friends with the girl she was originally going to be sharing with. We got on great. The actions left them with a problem though, a spare room at the time when most students had already found flatmates. Eventually they found a girl who happened to be the ex-friend of my flatmate. Had we been speaking, either of us would have warned them that she had, I think, professionally diagnosed borderline personality disorder that she absolutely refused to treat. Then what unfolded was a complete shit show. Over the course of the year, their flatmate trashed the place. And I mean trashed. Holes through plaster. This happened more than once. Stole their possessions and sold kitchen appliances. Did all the fucking drugs all the fucking time. Brought home random men to fuck, including drug addicts and men who tried to sexually assault the other flatmates. Oh no. Had the police at the door a few times, screaming at people for even the tiniest noise. Was screaming at them for things they apparently did to her in past lives and other nonsensical shit. Left blood all over the place from self-harm, half-assed suicide attempts, and her periods. She decided to bleed all over herself and their furnishings instead of using hygiene products because fuck them, that's why. There's probably more I've forgotten, I don't know. But, they lived with her for most of the academic year until her family found out what was going on. But then she endangered and traumatized all three, destroyed them academically, and cost them a small fortune in repairs. Decent rentals within walking distance of the University of Scars, and the crazy escalated over time, so they had to keep peace with the landlord. Or just two of those points in that list. Just the part with the random men bringing the random men back to do it, and the blood. Oh, the blood. Why? Oh my god. I have managed to hurt myself to the point that I've drawn blood in the past, but it's not as bad as like a borderline personality disorder. Like, what the actual heck? What the actual hell? Oh my god. And this is another one of those stories where you don't have to say anything and the revenge just happens to the people themselves without you doing anything. Anyways, links will be in the description to my main channel and also the channel that you're on right now, which has links to the playlist and the last episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. Ding, ding. I'm Mad Scientist out.